All right, here we go. I'm doing this on a whim. I'm just going to go through the season preview here. We're just going to get right fucking into it because I don't want to do any editing on this video. I just want this to take like 5 to 10 minutes. Quick season recap. Preview. We can recap last season as well. Trey was the winner. But we'll start with the runner-up from last year and the number one team in the preseason poll unanimously. 11 out of 12 of you, fuck you, whoever didn't vote. But Nolan, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Justin Jefferson, George Kittle, Tony Pollard. The list goes on and on. He just drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. We can let him get Zay Flowers. Good God. He's got Debo and Deontay Johnson on his bench. Daniel Jones, Kenny Pickett. The man has 4 starting quarterbacks in addition to all these guys. So nothing really to say about Nolan's team. He's the best team. He should be in the championship game, to be honest with you. Second place in the preseason poll is the defending champ, Trey. And I will talk about this real quick. Tua, Najee. He's got the Alabama squad. He's got Waddle. He's got Amari Cooper. He has fucking Kenyon Drake of all people. He's got John Mechie. The guy's got a Bama squad, and he's turned Alabama professional football players into a fucking elite fantasy team. So shout out Trey for being the biggest homeschool wrecker of all time. He loves to slob on Nick Saban's knob. But real quick, this matchup is actually going to be the matchup of the week as well. So I'll touch on that right here. Nolan and Trey going toe-to-toe. No Cooper Kupp for Trey. That's going to be huge. But yeah, what a fucking matchup to start the season. I put this in a random pick generator. This is what happened. This was what came out. Very excited to watch this matchup as well. And then we'll just go into the third place team in the poll. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on myself because, as you guys know, I talk about myself a lot. But yeah, Justin Herbert traded for Trevor Lawrence. Cass, shout out. Thank you for that trade. So that was fucking dope. Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kyle Pitts. The upside is there. Nick Chubb, who I got from Patrick for Trey Lance, because Patrick, he kind of suck ass at trading when it comes to quarterbacks. But yeah, that's the third place team. That's me. Fourth in here is Crawdaddy, Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields carrying the squad with Tyreek Hill, who has said he wants to put up 2,000 yards. If he puts up 2,000 yards, Crawdaddy should be in the playoffs for sure. Like I said, not going to spend a lot of time on these guys. His running backs are mid, between 12 and 18 finish, in my opinion, maybe 15 to 18 closer. Antonio Gibson, Miles Sanders, Rashad White. But some upside to finish in the top 12 there. Real quick, number 5 is Cameron. And I want to talk about Cameron's team here because this motherfucker does not pay attention to fantasy at all. He doesn't even care about fantasy. He just likes us. Or I thought he liked us. He played Tarkov with us the other day. That was fucking dope. But he has Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs, who he fleeced from Landon, Devontae Adams, who he fleeced from Patrick, Derrick Henry, obviously. Just not a lot of depth on his bench, which is why he's probably not higher. So really fucking good team. Really good starting group. I don't know what's going to happen when Kamara comes back and Jamal Williams is no longer going to start. But Cameron's preseason 5th, and I think he's a playoff team. I really do. 6th in the playoff poll, or the preseason poll, looking for a playoff spot as well, right on the borderline, is going to be Patrick. As I mentioned, the Trey Lance trade, let's just take a look at that real quick because I want you guys to see it in its full glory. Trey Lance for Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, the best running back in football. Maybe not fantasy football, but the best running back in football. For fucking scrub squad Magoo. Trey Lance. This dude fucking sucks. Anyone knew it. It's come out of the draft. I got tweets saying he was my 5th ranked quarterback. I had him below Mac Jones and Zach Wilson, if that tells you anything about how bad I thought Trey Lance was. So, yeah, not a good trade from Patrick there, but he does have elite wide receivers in CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown. He also has Mark Andrews, Garrett Wilson. He has Madison and DeAndre Swift as well. Cam Akers I'm not too high on, but not a lot of running backs there in L.A. I just don't think their offensive line's going to be able to run the ball at all. But yeah, solid team. Middle of the pack, like I mentioned. Getting into the tie for 7th here, let's take a look at Cass's team, good God, Trey gave Cass the sloppiest fucking blowjob in the chat that I've ever seen. Yeah, so he loves Cass's team. Had him 2, I think. Number 2, which is a good team. Jalen Hurts, not a lot of quarterback depth with C.J. Stroud, but Mixon's going to go off this year. I think Aaron Jones is still a really good running back. Etienne and Pacheco, he's got solid running backs. He just has a bunch of wide receiver twos. T. Higgins has Jamar Chase. Christian Kirk has Calvin Ridley. Tyler Lockett has DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba now to compete with. for targets, but pretty solid team, definitely in the middle of the pack, potentially going to be in the playoffs. I mean, that's the good thing about this league this year is there are 10 legitimate playoff teams, I think. 10 teams fighting for 6 playoff spots. So it should be really fun this year. I'm excited for that. Tied with him for 7th is Blakey Poo. He has Dak Prescott and Deshaun Watson, a couple mid-quarterbacks, decent fantasy guys in the, like, I don't know, like 9 to 15 range. Not great, not elite, not horrible. Saquon's obviously a freaking god. He's got J.K. Dobbins. His receivers, DK Metcalf. But, like, Tyler Boyd, Elijah Moore, Brandon Ayuk's good. He probably should move him up here so that I can analyze his team a little bit better because having Tyler Boyd here makes me think his wide receivers are shit, although Juju Smith-Schuster's knee could explode at any time according to recent reports. So not sure about that one, but another team that doesn't have a lot of depth and is pretty mid. He does have Jerry Jeudy and Jonathan Taylor, who will be interesting. Jeudy with the injury and Taylor with his contract situation and the Colts just being honestly one of the most incompetent franchises. Yeah, so interesting team. Another team that, I mean, could be selling by week 6 or they could be competing. Who knows? In 9th place, who was 9th? Shit. This is why I didn't do any prep for this. I just turned this on. Who was 9th? That'd be Colby. Colby was 9th. I clicked Landon's team. Okay. Colby was 9th. He has Josh Allen. I don't know how to feel about this team. It's interesting. DJ Moore should be good. If Michael Thomas comes back to form, which can he stay healthy for more than 3 games? Who knows? Kenneth Walker, good pick. I think Zach Charbonnet is going to eat into his touches a little bit, both to keep him healthy and also because Zach Charbonnet is a dog. Ramondre Stevenson, though, got to give Colby credit on this one. He was RB7 last year, I believe, and that's what this means. And he drafted him with the 3rd-round pick. So really good 3rd-round pick. And I actually think he had another good 3rd-round pick in this year's draft in Israel Abanikanda, although obviously the Dalvin Cook signing is going to limit him for this year, but he's only 20 years old, and if you watched Hard Knocks, the dude is a freaking baller. I think he's going to be really good, and I think that once Dalvin Cook is done after this 1 year, he will spell Breece Hall to keep Breece Hall healthy, so that'll be fun. If he hits on a couple 3rd-round picks here, he could get his team right back. He's going to have his 1st-round pick this year as of now. He might trade it away like he did this past year, but interesting team here in the 9 spot. Could compete for a playoff spot. I don't really see it. But you never know with Josh Allen as your quarterback along with Derek Carr. So 10th place here is Barth, who I don't know if he checked fantasy that much, but I know that he doesn't have his 1st-round pick because Landon has it, and his team's not great. He has Joe Burrow, a couple other not great quarterbacks, a couple mid-tight ends, one above average to elite fantasy wide receiver, and then James Conner, who I think is going to put up numbers this year, but overall, not a great team. You can see why he's picked 10th. He's starting Zay Jones as if he doesn't have any worse options. Like, he has no better options on the bench. I'd probably pull Jordan Addison up from the taxi squad if I were him. Regardless, doesn't matter, not my team. 11th here is going to be Ryan, if I could find him. Dude's tanking. I mean, let's call it what it is. He has no starting quarterbacks. Kyler Murray's on the pup. Anthony Richardson on his taxi squad, Bijan's on his taxi squad. These will not count as points for max points for. So reminder, if you put your guys on the taxi squad, your rookies, if you're tanking, so to speak, because this is about the most you can do to tank in this league with the max points for setup, is these guys don't count towards max points for. So really Ryan has nobody except for Terry McLaurin, maybe Damian Pierce and David Montgomery putting up decent points for him, Brian Robinson and Sky Moore potentially. Not a good team. Definitely down towards the bottom. Like, these two, him and Landon, are going for the number 1 pick. Simple as that. Caleb Williams is the target. I think Drake May and Marvin Harrison Jr. will be in that conversation as well come this time next year, or I guess 9 months from now. But yeah, Landon has a couple starting quarterbacks. He has one starting quarterback. He has Sam Howell, which is more than Ryan has. He's got running backs that could put up numbers in Khalil Herbert. Deion Jackson could put up numbers, honestly, with Jonathan Taylor out. So I think his max points for is going to creep up a little bit higher than he wants with guys like Alec Pierce, Isaiah Likely, Tank Dell. I think Landon's team is not the worst. I actually think Ryan's team is the worst. I think Landon has the 12th best team in the league, a.k.a. the worst. Of the 11th best, Ryan's the worst. regardless, it doesn't matter. Landon's trash at fantasy. We all know that. Anybody that wants anybody off his team just has to offer him a low ball offer, and he'll make the deal pretty easy for you. It's good to have Landon in our 11-team league. It's kind of like a second free agent pool. You know, it's like you have the free agents that nobody really wants, and then you have the free agents with upside, and those are the ones that are on Landon's team that you can get for. I mean, you can just get them for super cheap. I mean, even like guys like Jawan Johnson, who he added from waivers here, has some potential to score some fantasy points this year, which, again, is why I think Landon will actually end up with more max points for than Ryan, and he'll get the second pick. So interesting to see Landon's tanking strategy with 6 first-round picks. We'll see. He's obviously playing for next year. So just as always, super excited for the season. Love you guys. I'm out of this thing. I'm winning this year, by the way. This is the first year that I am going to win this fucking league. I don't know how I'm going to beat Nolan, but I'm going to do it, and I'm confident in that. So I'll see you guys later. I'm going to send this in the chat in like an hour. So love you guys. Peace.